Hello boys and girls, Mr. Giamini. Want to come to you with some more questions from the Topic 7 online post-test. Let's take a look at this one here. It says, Laisha bought a decorator tile that is in the shape of a kite. Which of the following expressions can be used to find the area of the kite? Select all that apply. Okay, now, they give us a boatload of formulas. I want to go with the one we've talked about. Remember, the formula we've talked about for area of a triangle, or excuse me, a kite, is the same as area of a triangle. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. Now, I could see here, remember we're talking about a triangle. We could call the base going from one vertice to a non-adjacent vertice. So we could call this the base, so 12 and 12 would be 24. And we could call the height going from the other two vertices. From this vertice all the way down here, which makes us adding 18 and 30, which would give us 48. So I know I have the dimensions of 24 and 48, but I'd have to then cut those in half. So I could put those up here and say, hey, it's just 1/2 times, we'll just call the base 24, times the height is 48. Now we're just going, let's just take half of 24, which is what? 12, and then 12 times 48. And 12 times 48, what is 12 times 48 going to give us? It's going to give us 576. I could go through and find out all of these answers and give me 576. That's definitely a way we can approach this problem. Another way we could do it is by utilizing this rectangle I drew over here. Now I'm going to erase this work. I'll keep the formula up there just in case we need it. We know that the base and the height, the base, again, I'm calling 24, the base could also be 48. Depending on how this kite is oriented. Let's take a look at this first formula. It says 2 times 1/2 times 12 times 13. All right, 2 times 1/2 times 12 times 13 plus 2 times 1/2 times 12 times 18. Where are they getting this 12 times 30 from? Where are they getting this 12 times 30 from? Looks like they're getting the 12 times 30 from right here. They're looking at this as a triangle. 12 times 30. Now they're actually doing 12 times 30, making it a rectangle, and then cutting it in half. But then they're doubling it. So when they cut it in half, they're finding the area of this one, but then they double it and they'll find the area of this one. That makes sense for this top part of the kite. Now for the bottom part of the kite, they're going 2 or plus, which makes sense because we want to combine the area of the top part to the bottom part. They go plus 2 times 1/2 times 12 times 18. Now 12 times 18 would give me this rectangle right here. But notice we're cutting it in half. So that would give me the area of this bottom part of the kite, and then they double that to give me the other area. That makes this formula the same as this one, just in extended form. Now let me see if I could do this. Let me see if I could duplicate this. Now I'm just going to kind of box in this kite. Let's say I box in that kite. It looks like a big rectangle, correct? And that's where we get that formula, area equals 1/2 times base times height. We treat it like a rectangle, and then we divide it by 2 because we're taking then out these blank spaces. Let's take a look at this next answer choice. It says 2 times 1/2 times 12 times 48. Well, let's see here. 12 would be here times 48. That would be here, wouldn't it? Looks like they're treating this just like a big rectangle, isn't it? They're going, hey, the height of the width of the rectangle is 12. The length is 48. They're doing 12 times 48. Well, that would give me the area of all this, but they're saying, hey, times 1/2, which what happens then is it takes out this portion right here. It takes out that empty space. Takes out that empty space. And they say, hey, times that by 2. Well, this right here, 12 times 48 times 1/2, that just gives me the area, because we're doing the half, it gives me the area of these two triangles, essentially, this half of the kite. When I double it, it finds out the area of this side. So we are combining those two areas. So answer choice B would also work. Answer choice B would also work. Let's take a look at the next answer choice. Let's draw my rectangle over top here. Give me some perspective. This goes 2 times 12 times 30. Well, let's see, where are they getting the 12 times 30? 12, which is here, times 30. Well, that gives me this whole rectangle. And it says to double that. So that means I'm finding the area of this whole rectangle here and then doubling it. Well, that would find the area of this whole rectangle here. I don't like this already because it's not accounting for these blank spaces here. It's including these blank spaces as part of the area of the kite, which it's not. And they go for the bottom part here, 2 times 12 times 18. Now they're going, hey, let's find the area of this rectangle, 12 times 18. Notice they're not cutting it in half. They're actually taking this area and doubling it, which gives me essentially the whole area of this entire rectangle, not the area of the kite. C is not an answer choice that will work. I go to D. We have a half times 12 times 30 plus a half times 12 plus 18. Let's take a look. We have 12 times 30. There's my 12 times my 30. That would be the area of the rectangle. Now they cut it in half, and that's great. That gives me the area of this top part, if I wanted to call this top part, the top part of the kite. Now we go plus 12 times 18. Well, that's the bottom part here. 12 times 18. Now this would be that rectangle there, but we're cutting that in half, which is fine. That would give me the area of this part of the kite. But then the formula ends. Notice we've completely eliminated this whole side of the kite. This does not work. This would work if we doubled it, but we didn't double it. So really we just found area of the half of the kite, not the entire kite. And finally the last one. Oh, forgot to drag my little rectangle over the last one, but I guess we didn't need it. Let's put my rectangle there. We have a half times 24 times 48. Well, let's see, where do they get the 24 from? 24 is, again, from one vertice to a non-adjacent. So that is the width of this entire rectangle. 48, hey, that goes from this vertice to this vertice, non-adjacent. Oh, we just essentially made a rectangle. We did a 12 by 48 rectangle. Oh, excuse me, a 24 by 48 rectangle. That would find the area of the entire rectangle, and then they say, hey, divide it or times it by a half, divide it by 2. We're now cutting out all the blank spaces. We're getting rid of this, we're getting rid of this, and we're getting rid of this. Hey, that formula does work. That formula does, and that's the formula we started with up here. Perfect. All right, that one took some time. I don't know exactly how much time, but I'm going to guess at least 3 minutes. It's worth it, though, because I want to get these answers right for this. So that would be worth it for me. All right, let's take a look at the next question. Hopefully it's a little quicker, huh? Which of the following can be used to find the volume of a rectangular prism with length 4 meters, width 6.5 meters, and height 5 2/10 meters? Select all that apply. All right, we have a length of 4, a width of 6, and a height of 5 2/10. It's a volume of a rectangular prism. That is, volume equals length times width times height. Well, I'm going to automatically get my answer choices here. Sorry, you have addition. Sorry, you have addition. And you have addition. I've eliminated 3 answer choices already. They get 26 times 5 2/10. Well, the 5 2/10 I agree with. We can have that as my height. Where'd they get the 26 from? Oh, wait. Maybe they multiplied 4 times 6.5. 6.5 times 4. That's 20. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 is 26, decimal point. We can get rid of that 0. So then we would multiply 26 times 5 2/10. I like that. Hey, this one is just 4 times 6.5 times 5 2/10. Wait, that's length times width times height. That works. There's my 2 answer choices. Excellent. I'm ready to move on. What is the surface area of the triangular prism? Now, remember, surface area for a triangular prism is 2 times the area of the base, because we have 2 bases. They're both triangles. That's why we call it a triangular prism. The bases run parallel to each other. They don't touch. Plus the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. All right? Let's take a look at this now. We have 2 times, we're finding the area of the base. Well, the base is a triangle, so we have 2 times a half times the height and base. Remember, I see right here, let me erase this because I covered it. Remember, find a height of a triangle, we're always looking for that right angle, because the height is perpendicular. The height is perpendicular to the base, meaning it forms a right angle. There's my right angle. There's my height and my base. So now we can go 12 times 9 plus the perimeter of the base. Well, the base is a triangle. It has 3 sides. One's 9, one's 12. Well, what's this length? Oh, wait a minute. There it is. It's right there. It's 15. So we're going to go this times this. Correct? We get all that done. Plus the height. The perimeter of the base. Excuse me. So we have 15 plus 9 plus 12 times the height of the prism. The height goes from one base to the other base. The height is 25. 2 times a half, that just gives me 1, so that is gone. 12 times 9 is 108. Plus, let's add all this up. 15 plus 9 gives me 24. I believe 24. 24 plus 12 gives me 36. And now I have to times that by 25. All right. 36 times 25. I have 36 groups. 36 groups of 25. All right. That's going to give me 900. 900 plus the 108. 900 plus 108 gives me 1,008 square centimeters. I'm going to label that answer. There's my answer choice. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to number 8, I believe. The net below represents a container. What solid figure is represented by the net? Triangular prism, triangular pyramid, rectangular prism, rectangular pyramid. Well, first of all, I know it's not a rectangular prism because it would only have rectangles. Might have a square in there. Rectangular pyramid. Never heard of a rectangular pyramid. I've heard of a square-based pyramid, but a rectangular pyramid would be hard to form because the two sides that are opposite each other would be congruent, but then as far as the triangles, they'd be isosceles, but then the other two sides would also be isosceles, but they would never, not all four sides would touch, so we can't make a pyramid. Triangular pyramid, meaning all shapes are triangles. Well, we have a rectangle, two triangles, can't be that. It's a triangular prism. Look at that. It's a triangle that runs parallel to another triangle. How many vertices does the container have? Enter your answer in a box. Remember, we talk about vertices. We talk about vertices here. Let's think about this. We have edges, we have vertices, we have faces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces. Now let's take a look here. When I fold this up, this would be a vertice, this would be a vertice, this would be a vertice. There's 3. Now this vertice, let's think about how this folds up. This vertice would be connected to this, so that cancels that out. This vertice would fold over here, that cancels that out. We just have those 3 plus the 3 vertices here. Give us a total of 6 vertices. 6 vertices. Let's take a look at the next one. Number 9. What is the surface area of the pyramid? Enter your answer in the box. Oof, tough one. Remember, we're finding the area of the base. We're going to add to that 1/2. Why am I doing 1/2? Oh, because they're triangles. Surface equals area of the base. We're going to find the area of the base, which in this case is a square, plus. We're finding the area of this face. Remember, now we could do the 1/2. We multiply that. We multiply that by the perimeter times the slant height. I'm going to do this another way too to help us out. Area of the base, it is a square. The area of the base is a square. Let's take a look at our square. I know it's a square because these two sides are congruent, meaning these two sides are also congruent. So we have 2 times 2, which gives us an answer of 4, plus 1/2, the perimeter of the base. Perimeter's distance around. We talked about if we started here, walked here, that's 2, walked here, that's 2, walked here, that's 2, walked here, that's 2. That gives us a total of times 8 times the slant height, the face of this side of the pyramid, which is 6. Let's take a look at what we have here. We do half of 8. Half of 8 gives us 4. 4 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 plus 24 gives me 28, and that's 28 square centimeters. The other way you might like to do this is to find the area of the base, find the area of one face, and then multiply those faces by 4. So we could do this. Surface area could also equal area of the base plus 4 times the area of the 4 faces, because they're all congruent. If they weren't congruent, I couldn't use this formula. Area of the base is again 2 times 2 plus 4 times, now the face is a triangle, so we know the formula for triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base is 2, so times 2 times the height of that triangle is 6. We have 2 times 2 is 4 plus, let's just take this multiplication in chunks. 4 times 1/2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 6 is 24. I could then go 4 plus 24 gives me 28 square centimeters. Looks a lot like it has the same answer, obviously, but just a different way to solve it. But notice we end up getting the 4 and plus 24 and the 4 plus 24. Either approach works. Okay, I'm going to stop here for now because number 10 is going to take a little bit of time. And just recalling from the previous couple years, number 10 is the most challenging one. And you will see something like this on the practice test, which means it will translate onto the post test as well. Okay, take care.